I'm not even old enough to rent a car, but I'm old enough to buy a gun to kill you. Think about that for a minute.
Well, it has been exactly 1 week since that tragic school shooting that killed 17 people in Parkland. Since then, we've seen outrage and demands for change. Now students are walking the halls of Florida State Capitol wanting action on gun control.
And it's all being led by students who attended Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. We have team coverage for you tonight from Tallahassee. First Coast News reporter Jeff Vallon is there with Heather Crawford, and she kicks off our team coverage tonight. Heather, the kids are making some very strong points.
They sure are, Jeannie. They are letting their voices be heard. You know, it was just over a week ago that many of these students were thinking, how am I going to pass my math test? Am I going to get my homework done? Fast forward to a week later, and over the past 7 days, they've had to bury their classmates, their teachers, their coach. And today, while they still grieve the loss of those 17 lives lost on Valentine's Day in that mass shooting at their high school, they came here to the state capitol in Tallahassee with one mission: to spark change. I heard from Alfonso Calderon. He is a student at Douglas High School, and he described being locked in a closet for 4 hours. He says they may be kids, but they understand what it's like, what this violence can do. He had to text his parents telling them he loved them. He may never see them again, telling them goodbye. Now, he made it out alive and vowing to say that this is a movement that is not going to stop here today. He said it's not just about the students in Parkland, it's about students all across the country. Those same sentiments echoed by another student from Douglas High School I spoke to. Her name is Tyra Hemans, and she told me it's her generation that is going to make this change happen. Listen to what she told me today.
This is my sign saying enough, because it is enough. It was enough when we lost so many souls in Columbine. It was enough when we had to say goodbye to innocent elementary school children. It was enough when 50 people died in a club because they were having fun. It was enough when 59 lives died in Las Vegas because they were having fun. It is enough that 17 students in my school were learning and got murdered for getting an education. Enough.
While hundreds and hundreds of students were out here on the steps of the state capitol today for the Never Again rally, dozens of survivors of the school shooting were inside the capitol meeting one-on-one in small groups with lawmakers, urging them to pass gun control measures. And continuing our team coverage now is my colleague Jeff Vallon. Jeff?
Yes, Heather, and as you say, while thousands of folks were gathered midday outside the State House, it was the students from Parkland on the inside being heard. They've spent much of the day meeting with some of the state's highest ranking elected officials. Right now, meeting with Governor Scott, according to schedule. Now, those meetings were closed to the media, but at a press conference halfway through, some survivors of last week's shooting were already voicing skepticism.
Most we've gotten out of them is, we'll keep you in our thoughts, you are so strong, you are so powerful. We've heard enough of that. We've heard enough of, we are so strong, we are so powerful, because that is not why we are here today.
You're going to be hearing more from those students at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and 7 o'clock this evening. Those students will begin their 7-hour bus ride back to Parkland right after they finish their meeting with Governor Scott. We're told that will be roughly 7:30 this evening. Jeff Vallon, First Coast News on your side. Let's send it back now to Heather.
Jeff, thank you very much. You know, it wasn't just students from South Florida who came to this rally here today. It was students from all across the state. And tonight at 5:30, you're going to hear from a group of girls. They skipped school today to be here to advocate for gun control measures. They said they don't want to see any other student ever again die in a shooting at a school. So you're going to hear from them tonight on First Coast News at 5:30. We are live in Tallahassee. Heather Crawford, First Coast News on your side.
Our Heather Crawford begins our live team coverage. Heather?
Jeannie, hundreds of students came here to the state capitol in Tallahassee demanding action. They say they know lawmakers are listening, but they want change, they want action. And while many of them are too young to vote, they said they are keeping tabs on any lawmaker that votes against gun control measures. And when they are old enough to cast a ballot, they say they will be voting them out of office. These are students who just a week ago were inside the school when a gunman opened fire, killing 17 people at their high school. Many of them have been attending funerals this week, and they just felt compelled to come here on a mission to spark change. So while hundreds were gathering outside for what they called the Never Again rally, because they never want this to happen again anywhere at any school in America. Inside, survivors of the school shooting were meeting in small groups with lawmakers. They were recounting their stories of hiding inside of closets, hearing gunshots, and then seeing some of their friends not make it out alive. First Coast News' Jeff Vallon spoke to some of those students today. He continues our team coverage now. And Jeff, the real question is, will their efforts actually spark change?
Yeah, that's a darn good question, Heather. And the fear among the Marjory Stoneman Douglas students is just that their visit, the rally today, and most of all, the deaths of their 17 friends would be in vain. Now, by the time thousands gathered for a rally on the Capitol lawn today, the young women and men from Parkland had met with several of the state's highest ranking officials. But halfway through their schedule, some were complaining that all the legislators they'd been able to meet so far anyway were already on their side.
I want to see those people who have spoken out against this. I want to see those people who shot down that bill, who did not let it get past committee. I want to see those people. I'm not here for a fight. I'm not here to argue with you. I just want to speak. I just want to see your face and know why.
Now, their schedule is wrapping up with Governor Rick Scott, which is set to finish at about 7:30 tonight, at which point the students will begin their 7-hour bus ride back to Parkland. Whether those changes that they want will occur will remain to be seen, of course. All of their meetings, by the way, were closed to the media. Jeff Allen, First Coast News on your side. Let's send it right back to Heather.
Jeff, thank you. They say this is just the beginning of their movement. You know, that school shooting in Parkland didn't just affect students there in South Florida. It had a ripple effect, affecting students all across our state, really all across our country. And I met a group of girls today. They're juniors at a local high school here in Tallahassee, and they say they skipped class today to come here to advocate and push lawmakers for gun control measures. Here's what they told me.
We don't come here, nothing will happen, and something has to happen. We're tired of seeing our friends and our classmates die. And people just say, oh, your thoughts and prayers go out. It's not enough.
We have to talk to our teachers every day now. We've been talking for the past week about what we do if a person with a gun shows up at school. And of course it impacts us, you know. We feel unsafe and we're just trying to learn. And we have to fear for our lives. We have to skip school to advocate for something that should be given to us without having to ask for it.
So much emotion out here today at the state capitol. I met a senior at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. She made the 7-hour bus trip here to Tallahassee, arriving last night and meeting with lawmakers today. She lost 2 of her dear friends and her coach. She's been going to funerals this week, and she too is demanding action. Coming up tonight at 6, you're going to hear more from her, and you're going to hear what she wants lawmakers to do and why she felt so compelled to be here in Tallahassee today. Live in Tallahassee, Heather Crawford, First Coast News on your side.